Good morning. How's everybody doing today? Welcome to the Voice of Reason. Today we're going to talk about emotional abuse. And there we go. Okay. Well, we're going to start off with our prayer to our Ascended Masters, because we know that I don't like to start any of my classes out without doing a prayer to at least the Ascended Masters. Okay. We have frequency going on in the back, and I believe that is, let me see what we got going here. We've got 900. Let me show it to you. I don't know if you can see it. We have 963 hertz frequency, which is, it's the frequency of God. You will feel God within you healing the life seed. Anyway, that wasn't very smooth, but that's okay. Okay, so let's get started with our prayer to our Ascended Masters. Okay. Okay, our prayer to the Ascended Masters. Here it is. Dear Ascended Masters, beloved guides and teachers, I come to you with an open heart and an open mind, seeking your wisdom, your guidance, and your assistance this morning. Please surround me with your loving presence and envelop me in your light. Help me to navigate life's challenges with grace, wisdom, and courage. Assist me in releasing all limitations, all fears, and doubts that hold me back from realizing my full potential. Guide me on my spiritual journey that I may walk in truth, in love, and in harmony. Grant me the wisdom to make choices that align with my highest good and the greater good of all. Help me to embody the qualities of love, compassion, and kindness in all aspects of my life. Thank you, dear Ascended Masters, for your loving guidance and your support. I trust in your wisdom and surrender to your divine plan. May your light and love fill my heart and soul now and forevermore. All right, that is our prayer to the Ascended Masters. Okay, then we're going to, let me just get this lined up for our, we're going to do, after I do the Cryon card, we're going to do a prayer for emotional abuse. So let me get that going before we get really started here. Let me find it. I pre-pulled them all up this morning and meditated on them. So let me just get this pulled up. Prayer for emotional abuse. Okay. Who hasn't been through emotional abuse, right? Okay, so we got the prayer out of the way for the Ascended Masters. And now we just call in the guides, our higher self, and the Ascended Masters, of course, and our angelic team, and Cryon of Magnetic Service to give us the guidance that we need today for the collective. Anyway, did everybody sleep good last night? I slept pretty good. Pretty good. I got me some goodies yesterday. Got me at the evil eye in my chakra bracelet. And got me some cards. On got my cards on I went ahead and I got Learning the Tarot. It's a very nice deck. It's the Learners. So it's pretty exciting. That's what I'm going to use today for our whichever sign we pull for the day. I need to be keeping a list there of that what's going, the ones I've done. I know that I've done Virgo. Well, Divine Wisdom. Let's go with that one. We have a lot on the agenda today. Okay, Divine Wisdom. Yes, of course, I have to put on my glasses for this book. The words are really small. Okay, Divine Wisdom. Here's the card. Divine Wisdom for the collective today. Hope your families are well and your pets are well. Divine Wisdom. We love Divine Wisdom, don't we? I do. I can't live without Divine Wisdom. So let's find it here. Divine Wisdom. Divine Wisdom, page 27. We'll get started here. 27. Okay, Divine Wisdom. What if you don't have to be reborn again and again, but instead you simply awaken to the wisdom of the past? It would be wisdom you did not develop in this. It would be wisdom you didn't develop in this lifetime, but rather a wisdom that has come from many different lifetimes over and over. Lee Carroll states, I feel this greater axiom or paradigm of the new energy we're in. Kryon is stating, or Kryon is starting to teach that we are in new energy where we can awaken to the past. It would be like suddenly you remembering everything you had learned as an old soul from another lifetime of the learning and the experiences. Odd as this may sound, I see it almost every week within the seminar attendees I meet, person after person who tells me that they have just realized something wise within themselves and are going to act on it. They tell me that it's like they were reborn into another world. They somehow recognize that they know more than they should and even start guiding others with good advice. This is what Kryon has been speaking about of regarding the attributes of an old soul, the ability to awaken to greater truths which seem to be remembered. Divine wisdom is the design. We all have participated in experiences that have created it. Now we are asked to share it. So we're sharing it. Okay, that was from our Kryon oracles and our Divine Wisdom. Great, right? Okay, alrighty. What's my hair doing? That's good. All right, Divine Wisdom. Okay, so now we're going to, the teaching today is going to be on emotional abuse. We're going to start out with a prayer, okay? So here's our prayer for emotional abuse. I've been through emotional abuse. How about you? All right. I come to you seeking healing, protection, and guidance today. I have been hurt by emotional abuse and I need your help to recover. Please surround me with your loving care and shield me from further harm. Help me to recognize the abuse and acknowledge the pain it has caused me. Give me the strength to stand up for myself and set boundaries against those who seek to hurt me. Help me to forgive myself and others as to release the negative emotions that bind me. Heal the emotional wounds and the scars that I carry. Restore my sense of self-worth, my confidence, and my identity. Protect me from manipulation, control, and deception. Keep me safe from those who would seek to exploit my emotions and my vulnerabilities. Grant me wisdom to discern, or grant me the wisdom for discernment and clarity of thought. Help me to see the truth and make healthy choices. Surround me with loving and supportive relationships and bring people into my life who will uplift and encourage me. Thank you for your love, your care, and your protection. I trust in your power to heal and restore me. Amen. Okay. All right. So there's that. And then let's get started on what we're going to just discuss what emotional abuse is. Okay. All right. Let me find it here. That's the prayer for emotional abuse. Just a minute here. Okay. We got quite a bit on here this morning. Let me just retype it in because I have so much information. What is emotional abuse? All right, what is emotional abuse? And as you well know, I read from the AI so I can get our solid information and the truth out, okay? All right, emotional abuse, also known as psychological abuse, also is a form of abuse that involves the use of verbal, nonverbal behavior to control, I lost my place, to control, manipulate, or hurt another person emotionally. It can be just as damaging as physical abuse and can have a long-lasting effect on a person's mental health and well-being. Emotional abuse can take many forms, including verbal abuse, which is name-calling, insults, put-downs, and constant criticisms. Gaslighting. Gaslighting is manipulating someone into doubting their own perception or their sanity. Emotional blackmail, using guilt, self-pity, or threats to control someone's behavior. Constant criticism, belittling or mocking someone's thoughts, their feelings, and their accomplishments. Isolating, they isolate you. Isolating, limiting someone's access to friends, family, or outside activities. I've experienced that. Whew. On a very narcissistic level. Okay, minimizing or denying, downplaying or denying the abuse or its impact. Projecting attributes, one's own negative behaviors or feelings towards someone else. Emotional unavailability, withholding emotional support or intimacy. Dismissing boundaries, disregarding someone's boundaries or needs. Economic abuse, controlling someone's access to financial resources. Emotional abuse can occur in any relationship, including romantic relationships, friendships, family relationships, or workplace relationships. If you or someone you know is experiencing emotional abuse, it's essential to recognize the signs, seek support, set boundaries, prioritize your self-care, and consider seeking professional help. Remember, emotional abuse is never acceptable, and you deserve to be treated with respect and kindness and compassion. I think that there's a lot of people that are dealing with emotional abuse. It's good to know that we're not alone, though. I was alone in mine, and that's why I advocate for bringing these subjects into the light. There's my good morning cup. I'm having my green tea now. I had my coffee already this morning. Okay, right, so there's that. And I want to talk about why and how do we attract abusive relationships. Attracting abusive relationships can be a complex issue, and there's no single reason why it happens. However, here are some possible factors that might contribute to attracting abusive relationships. Low self-esteem, believing you don't deserve better, or feeling unworthy, which can lead you to settle for abusive partners. Past trauma and abuse, unresolved trauma or past abuse can make you more vulnerable to abusive relationships. I always say that if you have awareness, that's 99% of your beginning your steps to healing. And the rest are meditations, information. Okay. Lack of boundaries. Poor boundaries or people-pleasing can attract those who take advantage of others. The need for control. Attracting partners who need to control can stem from a deep-seated need for control in your own life. There's a fear of being alone. Fear of solitude can lead you to stay in and or attract abusive relationships. A lack of self-awareness, not recognizing your own values or the needs and emotions, can make you more susceptible to abuse. There's generational patterns. Growing up in an abusive environment can normalize the abusive behavior because you get numb to it, and you tend to live in an environment that you're comfortable with or used to dealing with, and you don't realize that you deserve anything better. It's a hard one to break. It's yeah. And then as you get well and start walking in the light and you're healing, you'll attract healthy, and you'll attract the abuser as well, because like a moth is attracted to the light, you get both light and dark people coming towards you. So there's chemistry and intensity. Feeling a strong connection to or intensity can blind you to the red flags. I know in my life for a long time, when I grew up in a very abusive family, very, very abusive. I don't mean to go back into all that, but and then they say that men will attract people like their mothers, and women will attract people like their fathers. Who'd have thought, right? Okay, to break the cycle, you need self-reflection, identify the patterns and the values and needs, self-care, prioritize your physical, emotional, and mental well-being, set healthy boundaries, maintain healthy limits. You want to seek support, surround yourself with positive, supportive people. And that's not always available if you're around. I'm going to read another thing too about the tactics of the perpetrator, okay? All right. And we have to remember too that hurt people, right? They do. They've got unhealed wounds, unhealed issues. Okay, make sure you seek support that offer you positive information, positive support, and so you can begin your healing journey. Have plenty of education, learn about healthy relationships and signs of abuse and assertiveness. Therapy, consider professional help to help you work through the trauma or the low self-esteem. Remember, breaking the cycle takes time, patience, and support. Be gentle with yourself and prioritize your growth and your well-being. Abuse runs in, it's a generational curse, so to speak. So somebody is called to break it in the family. If you don't break it, it comes back around, and the next person that comes into the soul group, and we'll talk more about soul groups. We'll do a video on that, or a teaching on that. And so here we go. Generational patterns and cycles can play a role in attracting abusive relationships. Here are some ways ways that generational factors can influence this. Modeling behavior, growing up with parents or caregivers who were in abusive relationships, can normalize abuse behavior, making it seem acceptable and familiar. Learned coping mechanisms, adopting unhealthy coping strategies from family members, such as people pleasing or passive aggressive behavior, can attract abusive partners. Let me fix my hair here. We have unresolved traumas, unaddressed trauma, or pain from previous generations can be passed down, increasing the likelihood of attracting abusive relationships. Family dynamics. There's dysfunctional family patterning, like enabling or codependency, can create a sense of comfort or familiarity with abusive relationships. Having a lack of healthy role models, not having positive, healthy relationships, role models, can make it harder to recognize and seek out loving partnerships. Generational curses, believing generational curses or negative family patterns can perpetuate a sense of hopelessness and inability. And then epigenetic inheritance. Research suggests that trauma can be passed down through epigenetic changes affecting stress response and increasing vulnerability to abuse. Breaking generational curses. You first have to be aware of it so that you can be aware of the cycles that run in your family. Education, learn about healthy relationships and the signs. We've already addressed, seek professional help. Set some good healthy boundaries and limits. And don't forget that forgiveness and letting go, release the past and focus on creating a healthy future. Because if we keep beating that drum, whatever drum we keep beating is going to continue. And I personally, from my upbringing, when I was from my youth, I used to always think that people needed to hear my story. I did that for years. I was creating an identity, and so it just kept that alive. And I'll tell you what, it continued to bring in relationships for me like that. So let's just ask for protection right now, because this is a teaching course. So keep things positive, okay? I know that this video is going to reach whoever needs to hear it. Do not keep beating that drum. We want to beat the drum that I am healthy and I am well and I am whole. And then follow the guidelines that we spoke about, right? So that you start, because you become a vibrational match. If you work in all the healing modalities, you can begin to attract that which is of likeness, the higher. We all deserve good. We are worthy. We are whole. And like I said, it's 99% awareness about the healing process. So we're at 23 minutes. All right, so we want to... All right, I hope that was helpful. Oh, I wanted to maybe talk about the tactics of a perpetrator. What are the tactics of emotional perpetrators? Okay. Emotional perpetrators use various tactics to control, manipulate, and hurt their victims. Here are some common tactics: gaslighting, distorting reality, denying previous agreements or conversations and making the victim question their own sanity; projection, attributing to their own negative behaviors or feelings to the victim, emotional blackmail using guilt, self-pity, or threats to control the victim's behavior, constant criticism, belittling, mocking, or constantly finding fault in the victim, minimizing or denying, downplaying or denying the abuse or its impact, blame shifting, shifting responsibility for their behavior on their victim, emotional unavailability, withholding emotional support, intimacy, or validation. They do love bombing, showering excessive attention and affection to gain control, trauma bonding, creating a sense of loyalty through shared experiences or secrets, playing the victim, portraying themselves as the victim to gain sympathy and control, using anger or rage, intimidating or controlling the victim through outbursts or passive-aggressive behavior, playing on emotions, manipulating the victim's emotions, such as guilt, fear, or anxiety. They isolate you. They limit the victim's access to friends, family, and outside activities. Economic control, controlling the victim's access to financial resources. Playing the expert, presenting themselves to be an authority figure to control the narrative. Remember, these tactics are used to maintain power and control over the victim. If you recognize these behaviors in a relationship, prioritize self-care and seek support. Now, everything I teach on, I have lived through and survived it and gotten my healing on it. Okay. We also do, yes, remember that perpetrators are hurt people. And misery likes company, right? So maybe we should do a prayer real quick. And what I might do is stop this reading after I get done reading for the emotional abuse, and I'll pull the sign and do the zodiac sign so that this doesn't get so long drawn out, okay? All right, let's see if they have a prayer for the perpetrator. Because we have to remember their prayer for the emotional abusive perpetrator. Prayer for the emotional abusive perpetrator. Because, most of the time they don't have anybody praying for them, right? And they're just wounded individuals. And the more that they walk in that, the colder their hearts get. But doesn't love cover a multitude of sin, right? And we don't want to just be going da 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 da, because there was something in us that attracted us and made us a vibrational match for that. So, and remember, we have soul contracts that somebody signs up to be the bad guy, to be able for us to experience that and learn from it. It's the truth. So here's a prayer for an emotional abusive perpetrator. Dear God and higher power, because we're here to change it. We're here to bring light and love to the planet, right? Okay, so here we go. Here's a prayer for emotional abusive perpetrators. Dear God and higher power, I pray for whoever the perpetrator was who has caused harm and pain through their emotional abuse. Help them to recognize the damage they've done and take responsibility for their actions. Give them the courage to confront their own flaws and their own weaknesses. Guide them towards self-reflection and self-awareness and personal growth. Help them to develop empathy and understanding for the pain they've caused. Lead them towards a path of healing and redemption and restitution. May they learn to communicate effectively, respectfully, and honestly. May they develop healthy boundaries and respect the boundaries of others. May they cultivate self-love, self-care, and self-compassion. May they become a positive influence promoting love, kindness, and respect. Thank you for your guidance and your support. Remember, this prayer aims to promote healing and growth for the perpetrator. Rather than excusing or justifying their behavior, it's essential to prioritize the well-being and safety of the victim. And they got additional tips are set boundaries and prioritize self-care. Seek support from trusted friends, family, or a therapist. Consider seeking professional help for the perpetrator. Remember that you deserve respect, kindness, and compassion. Everybody does. Okay? Because we don't know what life path they're on. We don't know what soul contracts they have. And hate begets hate. Love begets love, right? And we never excuse any of the behavior. But if we keep beating that drum, remember, we beat that drum, beat that drum, beat that drum, we're going to attract more of it. So let's beat the drum of healing one another, uplifting one another, and praying for one another. Because I guarantee you, if you've been perpetrated upon, you will eventually become a perpetrator. That is the key element about the awareness of it, the generational curses, the contracts, the being a vibrational match for that. Because you can't change that vibrational match unless you quit beating the drum, and then you have the awareness and you begin to heal yourself. You don't necessarily stay with a person. You don't, because they have to go through their own deal. But we can pray for them and lift them up as well, that they begin to get their healing. Okay? All right, so I believe that I'm going to, in this video here, I thank you for coming to the Voice of Reason, coming into my home and having me into your home. And we'll see you on the next video. I'm going to do roll the dice for which zodiac sign we're going to talk about. So if you find this video helpful, pass it along to anybody else. If you enjoyed this video or find it helpful or would like to support my channel, please hit like and subscribe and leave your comments. Okay, have a great day. I love you. All right, praying for you all. Love you very much. Bye-bye.